Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey, it's Jeff McNichol down here at Mom's Music, 1900 Melwood Avenue. I was just thinking, when I was a kid, the magic was at Frankfort Avenue, the Mom's Music at Frankfort Avenue, and I used to beg people to get a ride down there just to hang out with the guys and see all the cool gear. Now that I'm the owner of this store, it's like a dream come true. We're recreating the magic with the vibe that we used to have at the old store. We're carrying all the gear that you're going to possibly want. We're giving you the outstanding service and personal attention that you deserve. Yeah, so we've got the great guitar shop here. We're carrying USA Fender, USA Gibson, Paul Reed Smith, Gretsch, Jackson, Charvel. Anything you could possibly want, we're going to have it for you. Mom's is and always will be Louisville's music store.
Thank you for tuning into the Metal Forge. I am Mark Jackson and I'm your host. The premise of the show is pretty simple. Awesome interviews and awesome music. If you want to contact me, hit me up at metalforgeradio@gmail.com or visit the website metalforgeradio.com. And now let's get this show on the road. All right, metalheads, thank you all for tuning into the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson and I am your host. This week I have Jared Kelley from the Breaklights, the Deacons of Doom, and Rize the Dead here in the Metal Forge studio. Another in-person interview. This is becoming a trend, I think, which is really cool because I love doing some of these in-persons. It gives me the feeling like I was at the radio station again, and that was always a fun gig. Except for, being live and so on and so forth. And there's nothing like live. Let's just say that. So, before we check in with Jared and we talk, this past weekend I went to Heavy Hell 2 from Stranger Attractions and Wise Blood Records in Indianapolis at Black Circle Brewing. Got to meet up with some awesome friends up there, Ty Powers, Jessica Wilcox. Got to see some friends from Louisville there. Beth Dunn from Babes of Metal. She's going to be coming onto the show here in the next few weeks. Maybe they're doing a show here in October. So be looking for that episode as well coming soon. But the show, oh my fucking God, was absolutely fucking insane. So many awesome fucking bands were there. So many awesome fucking people. I got a huge haul of CDs and tapes and just awesome shit. Patches. Gotta love the patches. But seriously, the lineup for this show, it started at 2 in the afternoon and went on until about 10 o'clock at night. It started with Grave Ripper. You heard their episode here a few months back when they released their new album, Radiated Remains. But then it was Basher, Mother of Graves, Hate Monger, Stress Angel, Plague Years, Bible of the Devil, The Lion's Daughter, Fister, and Sanguizabog. Holy fucking shit, what a lineup. Many of these bands, other than Grave Ripper, I really didn't know about. And I was going to go for Lady Beast, but they had dropped off because of some issues. But wow, I was fucking impressed. Stress Angel, great fucking band. I mean, honestly, I can't sit there and say, that this was a great band or this was a great band because they're all great fucking bands. Honestly, the band that surprised me the most was Hate Monger. Fucking super rad. Shout out to my dude Jerome in the band. hell fucking yeah, I'm going to totally get these guys down in Louisville. I want to get all these guys down in Louisville for sure. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Heavy Hell 3. And hopefully next year, it's just, we got to top this, Dustin. I mean, Dustin, we seriously got to top this. So fucking right, let's do it. I do want to take a minute here to say thank you to Colin Canton, a dedicated listener to the Metal Forge, super rad fucking guy. I know I went off on the spiel last week about some stuff about, I pay for everything on this and I really don't make any money on it. Dude really stepped up and became a Patreon subscriber last week, and I appreciate that more than you know, Colin. Super rad. I mean, dude, he bought a patch back when I first got patches and all that stuff. Super rad fucking guy. Thank you so much. It's definitely going to go to some good use for the show. Going to get me some new cables whenever I can. It's going to go back to the show, and I appreciate it, dude. Love you, brother. Thank you. Down below, there are links to the sponsors, and without you guys supporting them, they can't support the Metal Forge either. And I am so grateful that you all do help these businesses. Whether you're listening to their podcasts, you're buying instruments from them, you're going and getting tattoos, you're going to the Discogs page. Thank you all so much, and continue to please support all of these guys. Ageless Art Tattoo and Piercing, Mom's Music, Maxwell's House of Music, Better Days Records, Unchained Tapes, Mercenary Press, The Wrestling Steve Show, The Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, the It's Gonna Get Weird Podcast. Keep supporting those guys, because every bit helps us at the Metal Forge, and it helps them too. Y'all are fucking awesome. Thank you so much. Also, making sure you all click on the Spotify playlists as well. You'll get to hear all of the previous bands that have been on the show, and you'll be supporting those people as well too. Thank you all. So let's get into this. This is the Breaklights. This is Beg for Clemency. All right, metalheads. Actually, no, not metalheads today. Kind of, because the guest is a fan of metal, but he is also a punk and bluegrass guy. He's part of the big Kenpunky movement, as I've been wanting to call it.
Oh, man, I like that. I like that.
Kenpunky, because it's different these days, because there's so much punk in Kentucky. It's ridiculous. It's
good.
But it's Mr. Jared Kelley, a local in-person interview today. I'm actually ecstatic. This is becoming a trend. We've had enough. This is like 2 in 2 months.
Hey, dude, let's keep being in person. Let's keep being friends, man. Let's get people together.
Right.
We can do it.
Safely together, of course.
Safely, obviously, man. Get your vaccinations, wear your masks, be 6 feet apart, all that stuff, man.
Don't be like up in people's fucking business.
Yeah, don't be all in people's faces, man.
Yeah. Which, this has been, since you were here the last time, you were at the station the last time, you couldn't say fuck. Now you can say fuck. I can
say fuck all night long, and I probably will.
Definitely.
Fucking say fuck all night tonight. We'll see about that.
Absolutely. So, Jared, you are now you were in Deacons of Doom.
I still am,
but it's kind of a little bit of a hiatus moment for you guys.
It's in limbo. Today, I think, was the turning point for us. I talked to Todd a little bit more today. We got, and again, our bassist was in the hospital. The last show that we played, that was maybe going to be the last show the Deacons played. We did it as a 3-piece. And then we all said, well, that's not right. We can't do this without Captain Simon up here doing this.
Right.
So, we got a show on October 30th. We're going to do the Halloween thing again. Deacon's going to come up and kill it on Halloween, as we always do,
Dude, I was at the Halloween show last year, and it was awesome.
Dude, I mean it's 3 years running.
I've got pictures of Todd and me and Amy from Gravel and Spiders, and he's all painted up like a skull.
Which bathroom were you in when you took these pictures? Because he only takes pictures in bathrooms with people, I've been told.
I only know of one bathroom at the Air Devils Inn.
There used to be a big log taped to the toilet that said hashtag shit at home, which I can say on this now. I couldn't say it on your radio show. But
right.
Hashtag shit at home. Air Devils Inn. I think they have a toilet now, though.
They do. I believe they still got the weird little urinal that looks like it had ice in it back
that
in the day.
Thing, man, I don't know what kind of diseases or that's a petri dish of unknown origins right there, which I mean that's not
isn't that a blue oyster cult?
That's what I was gonna say. It's not fire of unknown origins. Yeah, I started to make the same joke. You beat me to it, Mark always gonna beat me to a blue oyster cult joke, dude. I was gonna try to say it was the toilet of unknown origins, but he beat me to it, man.
Definitely.
Beat me to that.
So, but Deacons is not why we're here today. We're here for your new project called the Breaklights.
The Breaklights, man. Yeah.
Now, the play on words, obviously, the Breaklights, like the brake lights of your car. But how did you come about the Breaklights?
Yeah, but it's So Instagram at the.brek. Oh, so geez, I can't even spell. Man, I've been over here with Mark too long. It's at the.brek.lights, I think. So it's like braking lights, because it's like brake lights is on your car. We think old trucks and things like that, but then it's pretty punk too a lot of the time. So it's like braking stuff. So it's a natural. I don't know. I thought of this, that it all started during the pandemic. Our bass player Simon wrote a bass riff, and I went, man, I really like that. And I had a bunch of unusable songs from the Deacons. So we just started jamming around. And then one day my buddy Brandon calls me and he says, hey man, like I'm just gonna come by and hang out. And I said, well, bring your guitar. And he says, I don't think so. And at the time we were on my back porch, like literally scared of COVID, socially distanced like everybody, and standing away. And I said, I'll bring it anyways. And he starts ripping bluegrass leads over punk songs. And we just said, well, we're gonna have to do this. So we called our drummer KC. And that's how it happened, man. And then we just started playing.
Definitely. So it's punk, but it's not. It's a little bit of it's a fusion band. It's like punk bluegrass.
It is. It's and it's very weird because like we do I mean, dude, it's so weird. Like we're a punk band, we're a bluegrass band, we're an alt country band, we're just a rock band. Like I mean, it's all of it.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
Everything but the kitchen sink. I mean, there are points, and I love it as a lead singer because I'm the least important person in the band as a lead singer, which, I mean, it sounds crazy, but I'm literally the least important. There are points of the show where I'm so literally not important that I will just walk off and go get a gin and tonic and hang out with the people in the crowd, and I'll just let the guys jam for a couple minutes or whatever, and then I'll go up and switch guitars, because sometimes we'll just change from a solid body from playing the punk stuff, and then we'll start playing the alt country, and I'll play a hollow body, and we'll just switch it up right there in the middle of the show, man. I'll just let them guys go.
Well, I want to stop you for a second, because you just said something that you're, being the vocalist, you're one of the, there's points and times in the show when you're the least important thing.
Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. At all points in time, I'm the least important person in the band. No, it's true, man. Like,
no, because I think that's the mark of a great front person. No matter who it is, if you can stand off stage and let the rhythm section go, that's great. But and that speaks like volumes, no pun intended, because we're talking about music here. That speaks volumes about your ego as a front man.
Well, I mean,
and I'm a singer. Well, somewhat of a singer.
Ah, dude, you're a singer. Get out of here, man. I love that. Are you kidding me?
But to get into it, you have to have a little bit of an ego to get into that quote character. And I think everybody who's a singer is a character to a degree. And to be able to just cast that aside and walk off and let the other guitar player and the bass player and the drummer do it, that's awesome, man.
Well, let's just say this. My character likes to get a gin and tonic and stand out with somebody in the audience and have one, man. Like,
yeah,
maybe that's my character. Like, I like to
play too.
Dude, I respect these guys. They're the best players. I mean, why am I in a band with them? I mean, dude, and I'll tell anybody this. Anybody in a band, surround yourself with people that are better than you. And your work's done, man. Like, I mean, I'm writing the words of songs and putting some songs together, but ain't no song. Like, everybody else goes, oh, you write all the songs and play them. Well, it's like, yeah, I do that, but like, I don't, like, Brandon figures out all the arrangements. Simon puts a crazy bass beat on it, and then King comes in with his drums and stuff, and I go, dude, a good drummer comes in with anything, and you can attest to this with your overload stuff or anything you've ever done, where a drummer comes in and plays the song that you've already written, and you go, this is way freaking better than I was ever imagining that this was going to be. Like, so just surround your people. That's my advice to anybody in a band. Find people that are way better than you, and then convince them that you're good too, and play with them. Like, fool them. You know, that's my advice.
Well, I mean, I don't even think it's a fooling aspect at that point. I think ultimately, with what you were just saying, I think it's not downing your own self-confidence. It's pulling yourself up to a level you wish to achieve.
Well, so it's funny, man. Like, so I'm newly divorced. I ain't gonna get into all my personal issues or whatever, but I'm newly divorced or whatever. And I was dating this chick not too long ago. And, I think that people often confuse, and I think this is common, I think people confuse self-deprecating humor with a lack of confidence. Now, I can get up on stage and play in front of, clearly I'm confident enough to get them to do it like you're talking about, but I'm also not an asshole, man. And I think that's important. Like, being confident enough to do something, but also not being an arrogant person is a fine freaking line to ride, dude. You gotta get up and do your thing. And again, like, I'm just not an asshole, and I know how good the people in my band are. So I'm okay enough with everything to go like, man, these guys can jam by themselves for a second. I'm just gonna get off and let them do it. Like, right. I have no fear that people like this better than, I mean, I hope they do like this better than what we're doing, because then that's another song or something different. Because think about that, man. Like, think about how rare it is to see a band just nowadays where you're not a jam band or this or that, or you're a punk band or you're an alt country band or you're a metal band or this or that, and then all of a sudden, like, the guy just leaves stage and lets these people just rip one for a minute. Like, you don't see that. And there are some people that come up to us after the show that go, man, like, those instrumentals was my favorite part of that show. And then there's other people that come up and go like, oh, this song or that song. And it's just nice. Share it all around, man. Let people have their favorite parts, you know, or whatever. And just,
no, I think we're talking around the same point here. We're just approaching it from two different sides. But, and it's a great idea to have that, to be able to leave stage and not have to be the center of attention.
Most people don't want to do it, man. Like,
no, most front people don't want to do it because it's their gig.
I mean, if people do, I mean, it's like the Exploited, right? It's like if Waddy's doing that, he's having another heart attack and they're just reviving him backstage and he's going to come out and finish the set or something, right? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Talk about these old school bands or whatever. Like, if somebody's doing something like that, there's probably something bad that's happened, you know, like, or whatever, but, you know.
So the cool thing about this is it was a passion project idea that became a reality for you. And now that it's an actual band, you're being able to play shows.
Sure.
And where are y'all going with this? I mean, what do y'all want to do?
Yeah, I mean, so we want to do everything, like every band. I mean, so it was cool. We got to play shows. We went, I mean, I was telling you this earlier, like, I mean, in my dumber of moves, our first show, like, we just started amassing songs, and I said, well, you know, we got 3 hours to fill, and we did 2 hours our first show, which was, in my opinion, a really stupid move that, you know, and again, it's not an arrogance move. We had a lot of instrumentals and stuff in there, and we played some long songs and did some kind of jammier stuff. Had a lot of fast punk stuff too. I mean, it's like the Ramones thing, dude. It's like Ramones, the guy was just like, you know, well, we paid you to play for 45 minutes. And Joey Ramone's like, we just played 27 songs. Like, which one do you want us to play again? So there's a lot of that kind of feeling, you know. It's like, we paid you to play 2 hours. Well, we just played 40 songs, you know. Like, right. But we filled 2 hours or whatever. But now, in retrospect, like you say, as a process point, we're going out and doing some opener sets and stuff, and it's like trying to get these guys to pare down our favorite songs to 30 minutes and have instrumentals and stuff too, the stuff people like.
Definitely.
That's hard to do, you know?
It very much is. And I run into that, like, okay, what are we putting on the set list this time? You know, because I've got a bunch of songs myself.
Yeah, what's your process though? Sorry man, I'm such a fan of the Metal Forge and stuff. I'm gonna turn this shit around and start asking you questions, man. Like,
you did this the last time we were here.
I'm gonna do it all the time, man. I like to hear, man, because I like your band. I like everything you do. So let me ask you though, like, how do you guys approach set lists? Is it a night of where you guys just have it all down? Because some bands do that, but we do it earlier on than that and try to.
Oh yeah. Depending on how it goes, I mean, it depends on our frequency. Oh, it's not Miller time.
That's all right.
It's
Tanqueray
tonic time.
That's
easy
it.
for me to say.
Yeah, it's easy, dude. You got it.
For us, it depends on the frequency of shows. If we have, like this past, you know, we played Metal Fest on July 24th. We played at Art Sanctuary on August 6th. And then we're going to play with Black Tusk on.
God, I love Black Tusk.
Yeah, I do too. Such great dudes.
And again, I was telling you this before. Like, I have a finger literally before Athon died of his. I have a picture. I'm sorry, I said finger. I have a picture of him literally with his whole finger shoved up my nose. If you look at my Instagram, before he, and it was like a couple months before he died, man. But such a talent. That whole band, like, such a talented band.
Absolutely.
That whole Atlanta scene, like, is such a good. I mean, all them guys, you know, Baroness and Black Tusk and Mastodon, all that stuff came out of. Anyways, not the derailing process, like, for getting your set list together.
Well,
you're saying
basically what we'll do is it'll determine the frequency of shows and where we're at. You know, if we're doing a bunch of local shows, we'll switch it up. There will be no.
So you're not repeating things.
Yeah, there will be no show that's done the same. Even if there are some repeat songs, which there will be, like Gunslinger will be on the set every time. Nothing to Lose will probably be on the set every time.
Yeah, because they're local favorites, though, man. I mean, you got to play those. Right. Like, we all love. And here locally, we love that.
Definitely. Shit, you know? And it's no different than, you know, us playing Nothing to Lose. It's been played on every show since 2012.
Yeah.
Every single show. It's nothing different than, you know, Metallica playing Enter Sandman on every single show since 1991.
No doubt.
You know?
Yeah.
So with that, we'll determine, okay, well, these two songs are still got to be played or still have to be played. And
do you hate it or love it though, man?
It depends, because sometimes I have purposefully left it off the deal, off of the list. And then I realized, like, as we're practicing, I'll be like, hey, I didn't put Nothing to Lose on the list. What's my problem?
Yeah.
And it's like, I wonder what it would be like if we didn't play it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well,
but it gets up and it moves, and it's a good opener.
Sure.
And
Usurper and Defy would both be excellent openers.
Usurper can't be an opener.
Why?
Because it's a closer.
Well, that's fair. It's a banger, dude. It's a banger.
And that's why it's a closer.
That's my point, dude. It's a banger. You know, Defy would be a good opener, though.
Defy has been an opener before. It is a very good.
Dude, like, I don't know, like in the 2-minute 20 section, there's the solo at the end of Defy just fucking rips.
Well, see, that's a little bit different, because that is the last song that features Cheyenne on guitar.
Oh, okay.
So
it's played a little differently now, if you play it.
The solo is definitely, yes. Mike was still playing rhythm with at that time with us, and then that's the last song that we had recorded with Cheyenne, and then when we had actually done that, that song came out almost a full year before the EP Tales from Twin Earth did.
Oh man, I love it too.
And then
which I might mention if you buy.
Yeah,
Overload T-shirt, you get it from. I'm gonna plug your shirt. See, you like this? I've turned this interview around, dude. That's what I do. I'm gonna turn this shit around, dude.
He's talking if you buy the metal
cool
everyday shirt, because and here's the genesis for this is it was Metal Monday. It's the flyer for Metal Monday with Overload and Eulogy in Blood. It's Jesus, I can't talk today. It's on September the 20th. And Brett Griffith did the design for it. And so I bought the design from him. And
it's rad as hell, by the way.
It is. It's
so rad,
so
dude.
Cool.
I was making Mark show the people to show this last Saturday. That's how rad this design is. Like. And
the thing about it was, instead of it being, quote, Metal Monday's flyer, it's metal every day. So that's where I get it from. And yeah, if you do buy it off of the Overload Bandcamp page, you can get a copy of Tales from Twin Earth.
Which has the two tracks that are two of my favorites that I'm talking about are the first two tracks off of that album, which are, absolutely. I think, is Usurper second?
Yes.
Defy and Usurper. Okay. Yes. I'm making sure.
And
I listened to it like a couple days ago. But
Evil Bitch, the perfect
Evil Bitch is the third one. Yeah.
And we still play pretty much all of that live,
which is killer. I mean, again, you guys write a perfect line of. I mean, it's old school heavy metal, it's new wave of British heavy metal, it's thrash. I mean, you guys kill a lot of genres in your band, man. I mean, you rip it, dude. A lot of different things going on.
But that's the thing for like most Louisville and even still in Kentucky in general, the Kentucky music scene. Because there's bands from Bowling Green that I'm fans of. There's bands from Lexington that I'm fans of. There's bands from Louisville, obviously, that I'm fans of.
I mean,
there's bands out in Paducah, or a couple of members out in Paducah.
I mean, dude,
the God Awfuls.
The God Awfuls, dude. Throw them out there. I mean, dude, we're playing a show with them on October 2nd. Like,
absolutely,
so, with the Breaklights. And we played with them at the Mag Bar here a couple months ago. Like, great bands. And I know this is a global show or whatever, but I mean, a lot of local bands, like you're saying, and I mean, we have a great local scene. And here's the problem, like...
Hey guys, Wrestling Steve of the Wrestling Steve Show here. So if you're currently listening to the Metal Forge with Mark Jackson, then you understand that Mark Jackson has a pretty discerning taste when it comes to music as a whole. You'll also understand that he has a discerning taste for professional wrestling, just like me. My show is called the Wrestling Steve Show. I talk about modern and classic pro wrestling in a completely unbiased, unfiltered way. Be sure to check me out on all available podcasting platforms. That is the Wrestling Steve Show. And I am the host, Wrestling Steve. Just remember, like Confucius said, man who goes through turnstile in Thailand is going to Bangkok. Pro wrestling.
Hey, it's Mark Maxwell at Maxwell's House of Music. Listen, all this stuff is now available to purchase on our website. Check it out at maxwellshouseofmusic.com.
We carry all the top brands, like Fender.
We got Gibson.
We also have basses.
We've got ukuleles.
We got drums.
We've got sound gear. We've got keyboards.
So just to talk about music, this isn't a local a plug or anything, but like honestly, like talking about music, like Ian MacKay, I think it was one of those freaking documentaries about closing of record stores or whatever, where he just goes, I don't understand why anybody, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember the exact quote, but he goes, I don't understand why anybody listens to what terrestrial radio tells you to listen to, because there will be more, I mean, this is true with mine and your conversation right here, Mark, like, there will be more songs written during this conversation me and you have than we can listen to in a lifetime. Why are people letting radio tell people what to listen to when in your own backyard, here in Louisville or whatever, if you like metal, you got bands like Overload. If you like thrash, you got bands like Belushi Speedball. If you like black metal, like I said in Kentucky, we got bands like Black Knife. If you like country, you got people like Tyler Lance Walker Gill or whatever. If you like goth rock, you got Photocrime and the Kentucky Vampires. I mean, I could go on about this shit for forever. I mean, you got Prayer Line and Stagecoach Inferno and all these ripping bands like here locally. It's not a local show. I mean, and we're gonna get it. I'll talk about Venom and Battery all night long if you want to, but I'm just saying, like, we have great stuff here, like, and every place that's listening to this podcast has that in their backyard. So what I'm imploring people to do is, like, turn off that crap where people are making a ton of money off of you, and it's not even the people that get the money that are getting it. It's these major labels and all this stuff releasing these repressed albums from forever ago. Turn that off, dude. Go find the person in your backyard. You know what I mean? Go find Gravel and Spiders, the punk band that you love.
Absolutely, and I agree with you on that.
You know,
and not to cut you off or anything, but my aspect of this, because of the Metal Forge, is what it is now, with interviewing bands from all over the world,
everywhere. That's what I'm saying.
I've come to the conclusion, and I've brought this up in the last few shows. Actually, is I think in a lot of places where I support buy local, I 100% support buy local. Support your local music stores, not the evil empires like Guitar Center. And I apologize to anybody that I know who works at Guitar Center. The dudes in Blind Scryer. Yeah. You know.
Blind Scryer is so good too, man. Well, sorry, guys. I left that out. You're right.
But the thing is like, I support the buy local movement.
Yeah.
I think in a music sense, attaching that 5-letter word in front of it turns people off as casual fans.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound credible, right? Like, it's a credibility sense. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I mean, because nobody understands that
how good
Motley
they are.
Crue was a local band.
Yeah,
Metallica was a local band. You know, Slayer was a local band. You know, they don't understand that if you just take off local and you put independent.
Independent's important, dude.
It is.
It's very important because, like, the guy I was in a band with, to go into my history again, to bring us back somewhat to this podcast or whatever, like, I started out in a punk band called Ice Cream Socialist Party, and we used to play all the time, but now we still, I mean, it's again, like, there's some things you just never get out of. And I'm a friend with my buddy Doug, and he lives in Sacramento, and there's a guy that lives in the middle of Ohio named Chris. And we play maybe once a year, and we're in a band called Sunnyside Shake-up. But Doug's new band out in Sacramento is called National Ransom. And they're amazing. And they're an amazing band. And I still promote them all the time. And here's the thing, is like, now with the global landscape, people go like, why is this guy in middle of nowhere, Kentucky, keep talking about this band out in Sacramento that nobody's ever heard of? Because they're good, but every like that you give them on Instagram or whatever matters, because they're trying to get booked to the show, and they got 300 likes or 400 likes. It's different than 100 likes or whatever. And it's like, even if you don't know them, dude, I'll promote. Like, my buddy Doug says this all the time. He goes, my wife's friend works at a horse farm or whatever, and I'm fans of that on Instagram, because guess what? It costs you nothing. Like, it costs you nothing to like something of somebody's or whatever, and just click a button. But it's also a metric for somebody else to look at. If you're a band and they look at it and go, man, these guys got like 1,000 people following on my Instagram. Like, yeah, we'll book them here or whatever. It's different. Like, it's like Overload, you know, or my band or anybody's band. It's like,
and
man,
not even
like
just
that,
the band.
You know?
It breaks it down to everything that you do. It's the podcast. It's this show. It's the Metal Forge. Yeah. You know, and
that's why you see me every Friday go like, follow this, because and here's the thing, like,
and I appreciate that.
Well, man,
and now that you're in person, I can actually tell you thank you.
Well, no, dude,
because I thank you through private message.
Well, and it's fine, man. But in all honesty, I would, even if like I wasn't promoting, I would promote it regardless if I knew you or not, because you've got a great. And again, it goes back to that buy local, man. Everybody says they buy local, but the same people that always encourage that never do it. Like, and that's the funny thing. All the people that promote it never do that stuff, but you got a great local podcast that's doing interviews with people all over the world. Bands like Hell Ripper from Scotland and stuff that did that stuff with Church Records, like Haunt and all this great stuff, man, that just comes through. And you're like, man, and as a fan, like, I'm just a metal fan. And I was like, dude, here's a guy that's local, that's interviewing bands that I know and love. And I find out about new bands all the time because of this podcast. I go, man, I didn't even know about Bewitcher or whatever, you know, and I listen to this stuff and I go, man, this band's a ripper too, you know.
And
like,
I think it's interesting, like, a couple of weeks ago, Stratus from Venezuela was on. And
see, dude, you're bringing on Venezuelan bands. Like,
well, the thing about it is they've been around since 1985.
That's crazy, dude.
I mean, that's heyday.
It was the Striper years, you know.
Right. I mean, that for a fan of metal music, that's heyday metal
Dude, look at how much has happened since 1985 for metal. Like,
I know. And
Jesus.
they had a 20-year career and then split up and then got back together. There's so many bands that have even done that. Tyrant, for example, has done that.
Or there's split offs, dude. Look at, 2 weekends ago, the Skull opened for Obsessed. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I wanted to go to that show. But that's old members of Trouble, like one of the Psalm 9 and the album The Skull and stuff. It's like, good Lord, like these are people that have really made a change in music are now playing. I saw at the Tiger Room, I saw Pentagram there a couple years ago and stuff.
A couple years ago. There's been, we opened for DRI there.
And Dirty Rotten Imbeciles, man.
Yeah.
Y'all open for DRIs?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, dude. All right, after the show's over, I'm going to ask you a million questions about this. So
definitely.
I will skip a lot of the stuff.
It was really cool. They played a long set. They played at least 2.5 hours.
Which is amazing because their first album was an EP with 22 songs on it. That eventually they called it like an LP, but it was still 17 minutes long. Like, that's crazy.
It could
22 songs in 17 minutes.
It could have been put on a 7-inch vinyl.
And all the people listening, look me up on that because I think it was on a 7-inch vinyl. But look up the number of minutes and the number of songs for the first DRI thing that came out because it's crazy. Like all that stuff. Like
our first album, it was like that. It wasn't that many songs, but it was like 28 minutes.
Yeah.
The first Overload album. And I sat there and I looked at it and I was like, that's not really that long of an album for 8 songs, right? And I was like, well, you know what?
Today's time.
I looked at Rain and Blood. And it's only like 31 and a half minutes or 32 minutes. And I was like, oh, it's only 4 minutes difference. And they've got more songs. So
we're on the Metal Forge, dude. Let's talk about Slayer for a minute, dude. Did you see them on their 3-year last tour that they did? Because I went by myself and watched them early on. And it was when it was Testament and then Behemoth and then Lamb of God and then Slayer, I think was the lineup. But I went by myself. Because man, I'll tell you what, you buy a single ticket for something like that that's like sold out. There's all these weird single seat spots. You can get one for a good price or whatever.
Oh, definitely. I did that with Roger Waters actually. Got a single ticket and it was
good price and amazing seat.
Yeah, it was an amazing seat and it was like $100 and I was like, yep.
Which is weird, man. Like for the listeners, me and Mark like haven't been friends that long, but we've been in a shitload of the same shows, which is crazy. Yeah. Dude, we were at the King Diamond show together. I saw you getting on the elevator with somebody at the King Diamond show. I actually knew you. I'd only known you for like a week at that point.
Right.
And then we were at the same Motorhead show in Indianapolis. Yeah, what a cool, like, I mean, me and you have probably been at so many shows, especially living in this area.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's the whole thing is it's one of those deals where, just because you're the social event, I mean, I'm sure there's tons of people that I've known for years that went to shows that I never knew they went to until we talked about it.
Dude, but me, like, I'm surprised I haven't met you.
Even to try
I have 3 beers and I'm going to meet you, dude. Like, that's the kind of guy I am. Like, I'm surprised I never met you one of these. I mean, you've known me long enough, dude. I have a couple beers. I'm going to meet every person that's looks me in the eye, man. I'm that guy,
The funny thing is one of the first big show I ever went to was Social D. And it was at the brewery.
Social Distortion.
Yes, I was 13.
What album?
Oh, it was in '97.
So that would have been like, either somewhere between Heaven and Hell, or it would have been.
I think this is.
I don't know when White Light, White Heat, White Trash came out, but that might have been that one.
I think they recorded a live album on that tour.
I was Live at the Roxy was the one that they did earlier on, probably in that tour.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice, dude.
And
that's the one where you do the Mike Ness impression. It was like, yeah, sometimes you're out there and when you had your little blue hair and there's some angry construction workers and we beat the shit out of them or whatever. We always used to make fun of those impressions.
There was a guy there. And he was just like, hey, man. He's like, can I get a ride home? And it's like, well, where are you going? He's like, well, I live in Clarksville. I was like, all right, we're going to Indiana. It's like, cool. And I shit you not. I haven't done it for a while, but I ran into this guy constantly over the next like 10 to 15 years in just the most random fucking places.
Yeah, dude.
And it's just like, hey, dude, what's going on? I haven't seen you in forever. And it's like, oh, hey.
Yeah, it is weird, man. I mean, my favorite band, the Mountain Goats, like, or whatever. I ran into a guy at one of their concerts that's like an old school death metal fan. Like, it's like, that stuff, man. Like, I mean, dude, you go to a Cannibal Corpse show or something, and like, it's the weird part about, like, I think metalheads don't get enough credit because, like, I could be at a Cannibal Corpse show at Headliners or whatever, and maybe I'm not even there to see Cannibal Corpse. Maybe I'm there to see the Red Chord or Job for a Cowboy or somebody, and you're there to watch that. But then a few years later, like, you make friends with some guy, and you're at a Nick Cave show or something in Nashville, and you meet this guy, and you go, that is fucking crazy. Like, I think you just don't give people enough credit, metalheads particularly, for how much of a breadth they have. Breadth? B-R-E-A-D? Breadth? I can't say the word.
I know what you're talking about.
I can spell it, but like for their width of music that they can absorb and that they care about, you know.
But I mean, I agree with that. But then again, on the flip side of that, there are still so many elitists or gatekeepers that are just like, oh, fuck you. Yeah. That's not metal. But, I mean, who defines that, really?
It's true, man.
You know, you define that for yourself, honestly.
I mean, it is true. I mean, you look at everything. I mean, like, dude, I mean, shit. But again, there's metal pure. There's always a purist out there to tell you how something isn't the way that it's supposed to be. And like you said, Outlaw Country is hilarious right now because it's a joke, like, right? Like, Outlaw Country, like.
and Outlaw Country in 2021 is nowhere near the Outlaw Country in 1970.
No way at all. The closest thing is, and again, I don't want to bring it back to local, but Tyler Lance Walker Gill. Like, you want a good Outlaw Country artist, there's one right here in Louisville. It's Tyler Lance Walker Gill, and he sings against the establishment. And that's the thing, though. Now, Outlaw Country fans are somehow for the establishment. I don't understand, man. I mean, it's not a political thing. I'm not getting into any of that. I don't care. But it is what it is, you know. Like, I don't care. Like. But my point is with everything is like there's always bandwagoners and jumper-ons, you know, and you want to talk about, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but like, I mean, again, going back to thrash, like we have Belushi Speedball here in Louisville, which is the craziest fucking live show you will ever see.
Oh, they've been on the show.
Good Lord. You know who produced their last album, though, and recorded it? Joel Grind, which is one of my favorite.
I did not know that.
Fuck, Joel Grind did that stuff, man. From Toxic Holocaust and Yellow Goat and Equinox and all the cool shit that he does. Like, and the old school Joel Grind records, like, that he was doing in the early days of Toxic Holocaust was him playing every instrument and recording it in his bedroom and stuff. And that shit's crazy. Like,
that is.
And that was like a new, I mean, dude, you have to love this too, again, we're on the Metal Forge, dude. Let's talk about some metal. Like, talking about some real metal coming back, like that third wave of thrash or whatever that hit with that stuff. And I mean, it's Toxic Holocaust, it's Municipal Waste, it's Evil, and it's Bonded by Blood, and it's Fueled by Fire, and it's all those bands. And Hatchet, you know, it's all those bands. Like,
and speaking of,
and Ryan Waste was on the podcast for Bat, dude. And
speaking of which, Municipal Waste will be at Diamonds in November.
Yep, got my ticket.
I'm definitely going.
I will see you there, Mark. I've got my ticket.
We're splitting up, going to shows. Look at that.
I'll see you there, dude. I may crash on your couch now that I know where you live, dude. I may just be back here, you know.
Definitely. And Ryan's an awesome cat. Because like I said, he was on here.
And super knowledgeable and nice, dude. I mean, nicest guy.
Like, and the cool thing is I'm going to try and set something up with him for that weekend or that day of that show. Dude. It'll be the year anniversary since he was on last year.
Please let me just sit around in the background somewhere and yell some shit out or something. Right. Like, if you get him over here, I just want to sit over there. I'll sit quietly on your couch over there, man. I swear. Like, I just want to be around it, dude. I love that band, dude. I mean, Municipal Waste is one of those bands. And I remember driving to Louisville. I was part of a music organization in college when I went to Eastern Kentucky University, and we drove to Louisville to pick up a drum kit for a music show that was going on there because they had to have this certain drum kit. And we stopped by Ear Ecstasy because it was still open at the time. And my buddy Donovan,
when you say which location was it?
No. It was where the Panera Bread. Okay, it's the original best location.
The best location.
The best location. Not the original. The best location. Yeah. Sorry, but we went there and he bought Hazardous Mutation. Nice. And we listened to that on the way home and we went, oh my God, like this shit, this is the banger of all bangers, man. Like that album, like, and of course they'd had Waste 'Em All and stuff before, but I'm not a scene poser. I hadn't heard that shit. I heard Hazardous Mutation, you know, and I went, Jesus.
I really love the EP that came out in like 2018, The Last Rager.
Oh yeah, The Last Rager was great. And I meant Waste 'Em All. I'm sorry. Waste 'Em All was
You said that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Get ahead of myself. Art of Partying was where a lot of people got on, but Last Rager was great too. Their split with Toxic Holocaust, Toxic Waste was great. Everything the Fatal Feast was great. Everything they've done, dude, was fucking amazing.
For sure.
Like,
And and I've never got to see them live, so that's going to be a real cool thing.
So let me tell you this, dude. I saw them live, and it was right after our kid was born.
Wow.
And it was them, and it was Napalm Death, and it was Exhumed, and it was Speedwolf from fucking... Do you ever listen to Speedwolf?
No,
They're
I
a
don't.
very Motorhead-like band. They're not together anymore. They're from Denver, Colorado, and they're very Motorhead-type music.
I'll have to check them
Not
out.
together anymore, but you would love it, dude. Super rippers. But I just went to see Municipal Waste, and of course Napalm Death's headlining. And it was at the old Busters or whatever, which is, I guess is now Manchester Music Hall in Lexington. I don't know what it is now, but we had a young daughter at home, and then Napalm Death's playing, and we get triple parked in because they parked a row of people behind us, and we're in the middle. So we parked in the second row, but then they parked so we couldn't get out or whatever.
Holy shit.
And I got a new kid, and my wife just freaked out. So I didn't get to see any of Napalm Death or whatever. We'd love to see them, but that was the first time I saw Municipal Waste, and they just fracking ripped, dude.
I bet. Like, there's a documentary out there. It's called Get Thrashed.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's super good, and like they're like a constant like history lesson in that documentary.
They're like a thread line of that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
from what they talk about,
Yeah.
from like talking about Overkill and Anthrax and Venom, and
Creator,
all
all that,
and
shit,
all of this
dude.
stuff, and it's
Which,
really
God, I could talk
cool.
about Venom for forever, dude. I got that box set, like Venom. Jesus, I could go on for that.
What box set?
Oh, there's an In No Mind de Satanas
Okay,
box
so
set or whatever. It's like the
it's the
big vinyl
it's the
box.
Chronos set.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's all that matters to me,
Oh, come on.
dude. I've got like the albums when they went metal black instead of black metal and all that stuff. And there's some
That's the
rippers on
later
there.
stuff. That's still with Chronos.
Oh, is it Kronos is back with that point
Yes.
in time? Okay.
Yeah. The Demolition Years just came out.
Okay, I don't have that.
Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com. Hey, are y'all in a band? Do you need merch for shows? By now I'm sure you've seen all the Metal Forge patches that are available, along with many more. Well, the printer I use for those is UKR Patcher. Check them out on Facebook and Etsy. They do awesome custom work and for extremely affordable prices for any band budget. Check them out, UKR Patcher on Facebook and Etsy. Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter the code METALFORGE to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. To me, the Metal Forge is a catch-all name because
Sure.
no matter,
dude, you've
Motorhead
promoted
is a
so many
punk-
bands.
Motorhead is a punk metal band.
It's a speed punk band, man. Definitely.
I mean, for sure. To me, it takes everything. And actually, I don't want to say what I'm gonna say, but I'm going to, because here in the upcoming weeks, I'm actually going to be having a grunge band on.
Well, dude, I like grunge too. I like
Absolutely.
everything, dude.
For sure. And because it all has its place in metal somewhere.
Grunge wouldn't
it.
exist like if it wasn't for some part of me. Dude, do you ever listen to that band Daddy Issues?
I do not.
It's a chick grunge band.
No.
God. So, dude, it is Veruca Salt meets early Nirvana meets some sort of Hole. It's so good. So
you had me at the first two. You had me with Veruca
not
Salt,
whole
Nirvana,
that much stuff.
Hole.
Yeah, that's right.
I am not a fan.
Celebrity Skin, though.
I'm not a fan of Courtney Love.
All right, dude. She's a
I
soul sucker.
I love
She's a
to
soul
hate
sucker.
Courtney Love.
Yeah, that's true. I love to hate her too, man. But I mean, there were a couple good songs in there. I don't know. So, anyways, yeah.
So, Breaklights. When is your next performance?
I will talk about the Breaklights. Let's talk about the Breaklights, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. We've went on for
Let's talk about the Breaklights. I could go on. Dude, me and you could have an 8-hour podcast where we could talk about every...
But this
We've probably been to a million of them, dude. I could talk about metal music. Dude. I mean, there is shit that I've seen. I mean, little metal. I mean, talk about local, anti-Catherian bands that people never heard of, dude. I just go, man, that was the shit that got me into metal. Like, and people are like, oh, it wasn't a big band. I was like, no, it's like a Louisville band, like, that I heard of.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, or
for
whatever.
Sure.
Like,
but no, when is your next performance for the Breaklights?
All right, so we got a few on the books, man. I think we're playing in September, and it's I believe at the Mag Bar is our next show, and I think it's on September. I want to say 17th. Let me make sure that's correct.
I do this all the time in the monologues. I'm like,
when am I doing this? Goodness, when
I think they're coming on. And
I think we're playing September 17th, and then at the Mag Bar, and then we're playing October 2nd at Air Devils Inn. Then I'm playing with the Deacons of Doom, which again is sort of a rarity. Like, we don't know. I mean, based on Todd's opinion or whatever. Like,
well, the interesting thing that I noticed with that was you guys kind of split 50-50.
Well,
you and Simon went and started the Breaklights.
No, Casey's in the Breaklights too.
Oh, okay. See,
no, Casey's in the Breaklights too. Yeah,
it's
everyone but Todd. Yeah,
it's the everyone but Todd.
It is, but it isn't. So but
Casey's also in the Basements, which is Todd's other gig.
Yeah, and so the Basements. I think they have a show on August 28th, which we just went and saw. And the Basements are amazing. Like, I hope they keep playing. It's very good. Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's a good thing about being a band, Mark. Honestly, like, it's just all this stuff happened in the pandemic, and so we started the Breaklights, and then the Basements started, and the Basements is a stellar band too. The Basements it's Todd, and then it's Gary from Gravel and Spiders, and then it's Ken from our other band, and then it's I think his name's John Paul or whatever. He used to play in the Ass Haulers and stuff, and he's very good.
Oh, absolutely. So when we saw him a few weeks back, it was a great show. The whole thing.
Oh, so good.
You know,
everything was good.
And obviously Clover Creek Bastards was playing at that show, and Push Start, which I've known Push Start forever.
Push Start's great.
I've known them before.
We had Push Start.
We
had Push Start do our album release show. You know, I mean,
right? Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, you were. I mean, no doubt you were there, dude. You were at everything. So yeah, I think Breaklights. I think we're going in to record again, which we already have a bunch of recorded stuff. We're gonna go record again on September 4th. I think we're playing again September 17th, the Mag Bar. We're playing October 2nd. I want to say at Air Devils Inn, and then the Deacons of Doom are playing October 30th, and then I believe the Breaklights are playing again with a touring band called the Brummies, and I think that's either November 15th or 16th, but I can't get all the dates right.
You got
a lot of stuff going on.
So if you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, always check out a show.
For sure. I mean, yeah, the Breaklights will be doing stuff. I mean, and they also get a hold of us. I mean, it's breaklightsband.com, spelled the way I said it before. BreaklightsBand.com, and that gives you links to all our YouTube stuff, everything. Mark's got the cue cards out. He's going to ask me some questions. And I'm excited for this because I actually have questions I want to ask Mark, so I'm going to bounce back at him on this.
See, listen to him now.
It's the bad part about a fan of the podcast coming on the podcast. He's going to really...
Some of these you haven't got.
I'm going to fucking bounce back at you, though, dude.
Some of these have been retired questions.
Hit me, dog.
But this is the part of the show where I'm going to switch gears. We're going to get into some general profile questions with Mr. Jared Kelley from the Breaklights, Deacons of Doom, so on and so on.
Rize the Dead, Sunnyside Shake-up. Rize the Dead. Again, we ain't talked about it. I mailed you a CD of us. It's my 8-year-old daughter and I's band.
Right.
Yeah, and we'll be doing open mics in Lexington.
It's a limited edition.
Have you listened? Yeah, it's out of 100. Yeah. It's out of 100, man.
Right. So these are all about you as a person because that's what we like to do here. Because I like to throw it up. Chocolate or vanilla?
I'm going to go vanilla.
Bam. What do you invest too much time into?
Too much time. I mean, friendships. Fuck them. Fuck them, you know. No, I can say it on this. I couldn't say it on your radio show, Mark. If you're on the radio, I couldn't say that. But I mean, no. I'm a person that cares about people. Probably too much about some people. Fuck them, you know.
Right. I understand.
That's what I think. I think I need to write people off a little better than what I do, man.
Understandable.
All right.
You can only be used so much.
That's it. Fuck them.
Who would you want to see perform if time or money was not an issue?
We talked about this. Chuck Berry. I mean, we talked about it earlier. If time or money wasn't an issue, if I could go back, time, I guess, is the one there. If money wasn't an issue, I mean, shit, the Stones are still performing or whatever. But I don't know. I don't want to see an old ass Stones play. You know what I mean? Like, do you, Mark? Do you want to see him? Like, I mean, I guess the time thing's there, right? Like, you want to see him old as shit and pay a bunch for it, or you want to pay $17 and see him when they're fucking young as shit?
Here's the thing. If time or money were not an issue, I'd love to see them back in the prime.
Right.
Would I pay to see them now? No.
Have you ever seen them, though?
No.
So when you just pay to see him, say you see him? All right. That's it.
You can see on my wall.
Yeah, I get it. He's a Beatles man. Yeah, I get it. He's a Beatles man.
But in that same regard, I mean, would I have wanted to see the Beatles in their prime? More than likely not.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this, man. I went and saw Bob Dylan. It's the worst fucking show I've ever seen in my life. It was the worst. Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck he was saying. He played maybe 2 songs that we even knew. But I bought his flyer for the show that we went to because me and at the time, my wife, ex-wife now, we had the best time because, like, we just sat around, people watched, and drank a beer out on the lawn. It was a really nice day. And so that very much influences whether you like a thing or not. It's like, well, what else is going on at the time? You know, like... But Bob Dylan was horrible live, so I equate that to this.
Great songwriter. I don't think I'd want to see him live. Now, honestly,
again, don't see him live, dude. Now he's horrible. Like, absolutely, don't see Bob Dylan live. It's fucking like, cause you say it like, and I did this shit. I'm victim of this. I went, all right, like he's America's greatest songwriter. Like I'm gonna go see him to say that I saw him. That shit's silly. Like that shit's
songwriter is to me.
You know who I went to see to say I saw him? Sleep. Right. And that was fucking amazing. Like, and they're still killer. Matt Pike murders, and Mike Pack is God. Like, High on Fire, every record is better than the previous. Fuck all that going to see Bob Dylan shit to say you saw him. Like, I'm a fool. I went and saw that. I wasted my time, my money. I should have went and saw Sleep a second time. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Right. Like, absolutely. That shit is insane. Like,
but then again, you know, you're talking about seeing him as a songwriter. You know, he is an amazing songwriter.
Yeah, Leonard Cohen's dead, too.
An amazing songwriter?
Tony Sly, he's dead too.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
I wouldn't go see Bruce Springsteen.
I wouldn't either. I'm not a Bruce Springsteen fan.
E Street Band.
Yeah.
But not
Who else is up there in your amazing songwriter category though? Because this is an important conversation. Like for your podcast alone, like to me, the best songwriter of my goddamn generation was Tony Sly, and he's dead too. Like, but that guy was amazing. Like, listen to his songs. Warren Zevon's dead. Like, he's a great songwriter. You know, I mean, like all these people we're talking about. Bob Dylan, like great songwriter.
I think George Harrison was.
George Harrison's a great songwriter.
Songwriter Lemmy. I mean, Lemmy wrote "Mama, I'm Coming Home."
I mean, Lemmy's a great songwriter, but like, all right.
Mama,
so
I'm
here's where
home, see you on the other side.
It's very good.
You
it's
know,
very good.
I mean,
I agree with you.
His biggest power ballad.
I agree with you, but he also wrote Too Late, and all that stuff. And it's just
Damage Case.
It's just not that good of a song. But no. Like, I mean, no, he's a good songwriter, but I mean, he's a good songwriter in the sense of the musicality of it. Like he could write a riff that's just like, Jesus Christ, like his bass riffs and stuff are crazy. But
absolutely.
But a lyrical songwriter, I'm talking like, yeah, I'm like with you, dude, where I'm like, well, fuck the Stones, but Harry Nilsson, Jesus Christ.
Harry Chapin, Jim Croce.
Jim Croce, that guy died when he was like my age or whatever, and he looked like he was like 60 years old. He looked old as shit. Why is that? Why did Jim Croce look so old when he wasn't?
I think it's alcohol, honestly.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna have to disagree, Mark.
Most overrated musician.
Most overrated musician. Period. All right.
In your opinion.
In my opinion, Axl Rose. Okay. Jesus, I mean.
Most overrated actor.
Most overrated actor? Oh, man. Most overrated actor, I would say, is, shit. That's a good one, man. That's a good question. I think the most overrated actor, if I was being honest about it, I think it's that Ryan Gosling guy. Like, I just think he's
Okay.
not. I don't think he's that good. He doesn't have the whole range of human emotions. But I mean,
Neither did Ted Bundy.
that's right. And did he play him once? Because he should have.
No, I think it was Zac Efron.
Yeah. Well, say Zac Efron then. I'll change my answer.
Most overrated sports team.
I don't watch sports, and here's why. Remember Mitch Hedberg, and he was just like, "Hey man, you like sports?" And he's like, "I like Gatorade, and that's about as far as it goes." That's me. So most overrated sports game. If you're gonna ask me about sports, I'm gonna tell you about Muggsy Bogues and Larry Johnson and Hakeem Olajuwon and all the people that were on NBA Jam, because that's the last period that I gave a shit
Most
about it.
overrated sports
So
team.
I'm gonna say anybody that played on the Washington Bullets, and that's not even a team anymore. That's my answer. Find me another Metal Forge guest that answers that with the Washington Bullets.
Right. Nobody. Who do you lean on outside of any of your bands for an objective opinion?
Oh man, that's a great question. I think, well, that's a great question. I have a really good friend, Deanna, that comes to our shows and stuff, and she will tell us like, "Oh, I really like this song," or "I really like that song," and I think that's very indicative of something we should keep doing. But I mean, honestly, like, I'm not one of those people, dude. I mean, I was married for 10 years, and the lady I was married to maybe saw me play like 2 times live, and I'm one of them people, man. Like, I've never been with a person that was comfortable enough when I'm writing songs and actually doing it myself that I'm not in a room by myself doing that shit. Like, I've never sat around and co-wrote with like a woman that I cohabitated with or anything like that. Like, so I mean, I guess I'd have to say my friend Deanna that comes to these shows or whatever, because she'll just go, "Oh, I really like this song or that song," and I go, "Well, I'll lean on that opinion." But
yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, I think that's it.
Definitely.
Oh man, it's grabbing the second deck. I'm excited for this. Get on it.
What food can you not stand?
Oh man, there's a bunch of them. Sour cream.
You don't like sour cream?
Not at all. I don't like mayonnaise either, man. It's not a white condiments thing because I like queso, but it's pretty close because I don't like blue cheese or ranch either. So
interesting.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's Gonna Get Weird is the name of the podcast. We're on season 2, so you have a whole season to get weird with Frank Green and Scott Clark. The best part is there's always laughter.
Oh, yeah, you can pull that out.
We have national touring comedians, NFL stars, rock stars, your local friends. It always gets weird. Weird answers.
Have y'all ever snorted coke off of a 78 Pinto? No? You ain't no man.
Weird questions.
Who had a bigger cocaine habit, Jock Sutherland or Kaywood Ledford?
Neither one, because they stopped beating their wives.
And weird we never even thought of.
Well, no. My friend is on acid, and I sent my friend to go find a payphone so that I can call and turn myself in for murdering this guy and ruin my life.
We love all types of people, but we don't love all people.
Weird. It's Gonna Get Weird is the name of the podcast, available everywhere. And thank you to Big X Sports Radio for being a proud sponsor of It's Gonna Get Weird. Frank Green, Scott Clark. Yeah.
What band do you like that none of your friends like?
Typo Negative.
No shit.
Typo Negative. Well, I mean, my friend Donovan likes them, but I mean, that's one of them bands though that like, I mean,
it's an acquired taste. People
either
like them or they like Carnivore.
Well, or people like Bloody Kisses and that's it. And I guess that's what I say when I mean Typo Negative, because it's like when you talk about World Coming Down or Slow, Deep, and Hard and stuff like that, like it's a different conversation that you're having. But I do have one friend that's as into Typo Negative as I am. But like, I'm just saying as a generality of something that you're going to throw on for a group of people.
Yeah, it's
when people hear Typo Negative, they go like, what is happening right now? Like, I'm not a fan of this. Like,
have you ever heard their cover version of Black Sabbath?
Dude, it's amazing.
It is.
I loved it. Was that not on Nativity in Black, the tribute album?
Is.
Yeah, and do you remember Nativity in Black 2 that came out? And it had a
both
bunch of weird covers, like System of a Down was in one. Did Snowblind, and then Machine Head did Hole in the Sky. No, Machine Head did something else. Somebody did Hole in the Sky on there. Was it Machine Head that did Hole in the Sky?
I'll have to look it up.
Slayer did one. Head PE did that freaking weird one.
Pantera did Planet Caravan.
Yeah, Monster Magnet did Fairies Wear Boots.
Ugh. Metalheads are usually eclectic people.
True.
You know, we go on tour a lot of times. We find things in thrift stores and whatnot, and we collect a lot of shit.
Oh, man.
So what do you collect?
Dude, have you seen a Breaklights show?
Other than vinyl.
Have you seen a Breaklights show?
No.
Not yet. So, when I play for the Breaklights, dude, I collect 70s vintage suits, like leisure suits and regular suits, and I play in them shits, man.
Really?
Like, oh, yeah.
Dude,
like,
that's awesome.
I play in that. So, I also collect vinyl. I collect all things, you know.
So, with the vintage suits, let me.
Yeah, I got married in a Johnny Carson suit. Like, I literally... And I still got it, and that'll be part of a Breaklights show at some point in time.
Like a legit
Carson. Johnny Carson suit, man. Yeah, I got one at home, and it's a fucking it's got like a dark brown trim on it, and it's a very camel colored suit, man. Yeah, legit. Yeah,
dude, that's awesome. So,
and I've got leisure.
You're into nostalgia.
But here's the weird thing: like when we play Magbar, I got leisure suits that I wear too, and so when we play these lesser kind of places, not to say Magbar's lesser places because their sound people are great or whatever, but when I'm saying when I play a place that I can feel comfortable in, when I can feel comfortable with you, I'll wear a nice leisure suit, man. I'll do that.
That's hilarious.
So that's the Breaklights, man. We do that.
And you know that's interesting because you know Todd was all dressed up.
Here. Well, the Deacons, I mean, the Deacons all...
aside from the black ties...
We believe a certain thing, man. Oh, you're talking about the basements. Yeah, Todd gets dressed up with the basements, and the basements are a good-looking crew. Basements are a good-looking crew.
Pleated plaid pants.
Oh, yeah, basements look good. Pleated plaid pants. Shit, I can't do it one time. Pleated plaid pants. I can't even do it one time, dude. No, Todd's a good-looking dude, man, but, I mean, you go out, I mean... I'm not identifying with them or nothing, but go out and see the Deacons, and there's a good-looking crew, too. We'll be there October 30th. Come out and see us.
What is something you've always wanted to do, but you're not coordinated enough to do?
Oh, shit. Skateboard, man. Always wanted to skateboard, dude. Still might do it. I'm 36. You think it's too late to start?
No.
You skateboard?
No. Look at me, dude. I'm huge. I mean...
My dude, Mark Hunt, was bigger than you, and he skateboarded the fuck out of it.
I need a stainless steel skateboard.
Get the fuck out of here. My buddy Mark Hunt, you skateboarded the fuck out of it. He's bigger than you are. I think I might start, though, man. I'm 36, and, I mean, I broke my elbow a couple years ago, and I thought, well, fuck it, that didn't really hurt that much. Like, I think I'm gonna start skateboarding, man.
Well, you know...
Guys from the Laybacks. You heard the Laybacks?
No.
Oh, shit, it's one of them guys in the God Awfuls bands.
Okay.
But they skateboard the shit out of it. But they're also a fucking rad ass band. Like
no
right into. Yeah, oh yeah, check them out, dude. You'll like them.
What's your biggest fear?
Dying.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because I don't believe in anything really. So I mean, it's really just not existing. I guess. I mean, it's gonna get heavy. Mark, we're getting heavy on this, Mark.
Well, I mean,
no.
Sometimes we do.
Well, it's true. I mean, I don't. I mean, fears. Like, I mean. There are things like, I mean, sometimes I get nervous talking to somebody or doing this or doing that, but like, I mean, biggest fears is like, well, one day I'm gonna be dead and all the regrets you would hold from shit you didn't do or whatever. Like, I'll just won't exist anymore. That's my biggest fear. What's yours? What's yours, man? Somebody ever asked you?
Mine?
Yeah.
I drive fast. A lot of times.
Car wrecks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
There've
been so much
dying in a car wreck or being incapacitated from a car accident.
Yeah, just paralyzed for the rest of your life,
right?
Or some shit,
something like that.
That'd be awful.
Maybe,
I gotta drive an hour home after this shit, right? You asshole! Like you realize as soon as this podcast's over, I'm gonna get in a car and drive an hour up the road.
I know, and to me, that's what it'd probably be. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve? I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this counts as a pet peeve.
You're pretty laid back.
I'm pretty laid back. I don't know if this counts as a pet peeve, but I don't like narcissistic people. I don't like egos and shit, like, at all.
No, it could be a pet peeve for
And
sure.
I think that's a pet peeve, but I don't like anybody that thinks they're good. Or I mean, I'm so self-deprecating. I prefer people that think they're awful at everything. Like, if I find a person that makes fun of themselves, me and that guy can hang out all fucking day. Like, that's my opinion.
Definitely.
Like,
no, I think that's
I like people that can joke around about themselves. Like, I don't like narcissists.
You can cut on yourself and it not, you know, it doesn't.
And the second I hear someone take a shot at themselves, I go, that's my guy right there. Like, definitely. I like that guy. Like,
I get you for sure.
Because I mean, it's easy to punch down or take a hit at somebody else or whatever, especially in front of people. And I just hate that. I hate that, man. That's the opposite. You know, that's my pet peeve. I guess that's my pet peeve. Like, somebody that punches down, man, that takes a shot at somebody like that doesn't need that.
I think it's a difference of, you know, if it's all in fun, if you're just ribbing on somebody, that's one thing. But if you're just absolutely coming from a dick standpoint, that's different. It
is, and I mean, but everybody knows it. But I guess, I mean, to answer your question,
I'll shit on Todd every day of the week.
Jesus Christ, me too, man.
But he does it back to me.
Well, it's because I love him, though, and he knows that. But, I mean, I could do that all day. Yeah, you're right. So, my pet peeve is punching down, though. Like, somebody that knows somebody's already down and sees him as an easy target and goes, that's my pet peeve. Fuck that guy. You
absolutely.
Know? But I'm with you. Fuck Todd. He sucks. He can suck my little dick. Todd can suck it.
We love you, Todd.
We love you, Todd.
And I hope you're listening. You better be fucking listening.
Oh, he's listening for sure.
I know he is.
He's listening. He's in his truck right now listening.
What album is a playthrough for you?
Oh, dude, playthrough. And there's, again, we're going to deviate from metal, but old 97's Too Far to Care is the perfect album. I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of metal albums that I think are perfect too.
For sure.
But that one to me is a standout. And I love, my favorite band's the Mountain Goats. And I would say, All Hail West Texas is a perfect album. Looking at other albums, I look at things like, I don't know. Testament's New World Order is a damn near perfect album. That is a great album.
I seriously think The Legacy is.
I think The Legacy is too. I think both of those are. But the New World Order to me,
very much so,
is so good. But also, again, Mountain Goats, All Hail West Texas, and again, Old 97's Too Far to Care. That one stands out to me. It's just, it's alt country. It's I guess more in line with what Breaklights are doing these days.
Definitely.
But, and it's a punk album. If you want to talk about Dead Boys, Young, Loud, and Snotty, like that, Young, Loud, and Snotty by the Dead Boys is as close to a perfect album as you can get. Or Devil Dogs, Saturday Night Fever. Dude, I can go on and on. With perfect albums, there's like a certain amount, there's a finite amount, but it's such a good.
And I've always said Wildflowers was.
Oh, Wildflowers, fantastic.
Yeah. That's a playthrough 100%.
100%, dude. Dude, I remember the first time that I actually got to listen to Wildflowers in the sense that I wasn't just listening to You Wreck Me or the song Wildflowers. But, like, when I heard Time to Move On, I was like...
Oh, I love that song.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
What a perfect fucking song, right?
Honestly, to me,
on the Metal Forge.
That's probably my favorite song.
That's a standout out song on the album. Me too,
it very much is.
I'll listen to it on the way home. I got an hour drive home. I will listen to that song probably. Like,
definitely.
And there's other bands that nobody's heard of, like, people that don't listen as much, like, the First Loved Ones album, like, to me, is a good one. Like,
we were talking previous to actually recording.
British Steel.
Satan's Highway.
British Steel. Melissa?
Oh, yeah.
Is Melissa a perfect album? Absolutely. To me.
Yeah. Them is a perfect album.
Them's good.
Them is a perfect album. Again, like I said a second ago, Satan's Highway by the Hookers. Perfect album. That's the first album. It's great. Love it.
Absolutely. I agree. Dude, every Hookers album's great, but yeah, Satan's Highway.
For sure.
Jesus Christ. Like, that's one of those. Dude, that's the thing about being the old. The Loaded Nuns only released one album, and it was on a shitty label or whatever. But, geez, there's so many local bands that did shit that you listen to that, like, don't.
Independent bands.
Sorry, independent bands. They're not local at all. They're independent bands.
They're independent bands.
Yeah, well, again, like National Ransom out of Sacramento, California. That's a very good independent band you should be listening to. But yeah, like, there's so many of these bands that you just go like, man, they never got anything. Like, and there's so many that I don't even know ever recorded. You remember that band Frank Rocket out of Lexington?
I believe so.
Independent band. At Lexington. But, I mean, just some of Brass Knuckle Boys, like, the Yellow Belts, like, all these bands that you just go, man, they were so fun. 30 pounds past. I mean, the Crosstown Rivals. I mean, all these bands you just go, fuck, like, so many good independent bands.
Definitely. So I have one more question for you.
All right.
Before we do, as always, links are going to be listed in the description below to the Breaklights, the Deacons of Doom, all the cool Jared Kelley stuff that's
Rize
out
the
there.
Dead with my 8-year-old daughter, Sadie. I love you, baby.
Absolutely. So be sure to click those links, give him a like, a share, and a follow. There'll be links to the Instagram pages. If they have a Facebook page on some of those, will be on there, because I know for some of them
we don't. We're mostly Instagram. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I don't think I have been able to tag you in any Facebook posts. I don't know if you actually have a Facebook page.
I don't, man.
I didn't think so. So there we go. So give them a like, share, and a follow on Instagram. Do all that. And, of course, as always, visit the sponsors. Their links are listed below as well. And subscribe to the Metal Forge playlists on Spotify.
Pre-order an Overload t-shirt.
That.
Jesus Christ, it's the coolest t-shirt I've ever seen. Seriously, look at it and buy that shit. Is awesome. And you get a copy of the best album ever, too. So
EP. It's an EP.
It's an album to me. I'm sorry. Like, it's an EP. Like, but...
It's only 5 songs. It's
all right.
It's like 24 minutes.
I gotta pump your shit, man. I'm sorry.
I
It's
know,
good.
and I appreciate you. Do you have any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Yeah, man. Let's give a shout out. Let's talk to Todd, Simon. Simon's my bass player. Todd's my singer for the Deacons of Doom. Love you, buddy. Our freaking killer guitarist for the Breaklights, Brandon. If he's listening, love you, man. You make the band completely different. Casey drums for like every band that any of us are in, so I don't even really need to mention him because the motherfucker plays in like 8 bands. Jesus Christ. My daughter Sadie, obviously, she plays in my band, Rize the Dead. From Sunnyside Shake-up, let's talk to Doug and Chris Papali. And then, biggest shout out, Mark here at the Metal Forge, man. This motherfucker is awesome. Let's keep it going. Follow it. I'll keep sharing it. Everybody else is listening. Share it too. Let's support local. He's going to say support independent. But in this situation, I'm going to say support local, man, because it's a local podcast that brings on all kinds of awesome guests. Jesus Christ. We've got to get on board and do something for our community, like the greater Louisville area, New Albany, wherever you're at. Like, good Lord, like get on board and do something.
Pittsburgh or
Portland, Pittsburgh, he has amazing.
Dude,
Scotland, he has bands on from Scotland. He has bands on from Venezuela, Nigeria, wherever you're at. Please get on, support this. Like, just it takes one little finger, just click like, and that's all it is, and it makes a world of difference. Just do it.
Definitely. Last question of the show today.
Jesus, there's another question.
What album changed your life?
Oh, man. I narrowed down to one album that changed my life. And it's going to be bad. I mean, I could talk all day. I could talk all day about Discharge, and I could talk about Dead Boys, and I could talk about the Cramps. Dude, the Cramps, Songs the Lord Taught Us was a big one for me. Talk about all that stuff. But I'm going to give you a silly one, because it's true. I grew up in a tobacco farming community, you know, and before I found anything, it was all, my friends were listening to Tupac and gangsta rap and Notorious B.I.G. and all that stuff. The song and album that hit me, that was the gateway drug. And again, like, I could talk all day if you want to talk about obscure, I mean, I could talk about Witchfinder General, you know, I could talk about all the obscure, I could talk about Sarith and Goal, you know, I could talk about everything that was an obscure band, but Power Man 5000, Tonight the Stars Revolt, hit me at the right time to give me the segue into looking into all the other stuff, man. So
definitely.
That was the one that I was younger, you know.
To me, that's not a silly answer, because it's the thing. It's the gateway. And when that came out, you were like 12 or 13 at the time.
Yeah.
Because I was like 14 when it came out.
Right.
And that's the whole thing is, you know, again, that relates back to the deal of those albums that come out when you're between the ages of 12 and 14.
It's gateway drugs, man, right?
They're very much gateway albums. You know, Load was that way for me.
Sure.
And most Metallica fans hate Load. I love that album. I love the grunginess of it, that aspect. for the band. They still had enough of their identity. And I
Sure.
think, Power Man 5000 at the time was
It was accessible, dude. It was accessible.
It was accessible.
For a kid that was living on a tobacco farm in Carrollton, Kentucky. That was accessible. Now, at later days, if you want to talk to me about Pentagram or Candlemass or any of these bands, I can talk about it all day long, but if you want to ask me the album that changed me as a person, that was it. And I don't think there's a lot of shame in that. It's just that was the one that was, again, we didn't have the internet accessibility and all this. It's like we had a couple of music channels or whatever, and that was the one.
Yeah, honestly, in that time period, you really only had MTV and VH1.
And the box, which you could pay to get music requested on or whatever. It's like,
but most of that was all hip hop and stuff.
Right, it's the Brat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy
and
stuff.
It wasn't until like 99 or so when Fuse came out.
Right.
As an
alternative to that.
That actually played videos, because other than that, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
You only had MTV, and they were pretty much already dead at that point. They were playing more reality shit.
Do remember though, maybe I should change my answer, because I do remember when I was really young, I got a single by chance of Green Jelly.
Nice.
And it was the Three Little Pigs single, and the B-side was Obey the Cow God.
Nice.
And if you haven't seen the documentary,
they're going on tour again.
Yeah, have you seen the documentary where they hold the Guinness Book of World Records for the band with the most members?
Oh, really?
Because every time he goes on tour, he doesn't take a band with him. He'll take maybe one person, but he has all these people in different cities, or whatever.
Yeah,
it's insanely smart.
There's a girl I'm friends with on Facebook, and she plays drums for them. And it's
amazing, isn't it?
And the thing about it is the shows that she is playing, she's only playing 6 shows out of a 40 show tour.
Yeah.
And she
killer though, right?
She put on the flyer that she was sharing. It's like, oh, I'm going to be appearing at this show, this show, this show, this show, and this show. And I was like, dude, that's weird. And it is.
Yeah, they're the Guinness Book of World Records, I think, for the most band members.
That's insane.
The documentary's killer.
Jared, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
This has been an awesome show.
Dude, I want to do 10 more, man. I love it, dude. It's the best time I've had. Seriously.
Definitely.
And I want to interview Overload. I want to get Overload on here and do a real... I want to get some other local bands on here that you've interviewed, and just get them in here and let's throw questions at Overload, man. Let's do, we should bump it up. Let's do some mail it in audience questions and stuff.
Maybe for the 150th.
When's that? Is that soon?
That'd be in December.
I think we should do it, man.
The 150th episode would be in December at some point. I'll have to look at the calendar and find out when.
I will create the mailbox where people send pictures or pictures, questions, everything. Just send it all in.
Maybe we could do it for, if not the 150th, maybe the 200th episode.
All right,
which would be
keep kicking that 300th, whatever you got. I'm gonna take it.
Which would probably be the what would that be?
June or something.
No, it would end up being December again.
Oh, all right. One of these Decembers, you're going to get a good episode. I'll tell you that.
A December in the future, maybe in 2026.
No doubt.
Maybe for the 1000th episode. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, dude, keep pumping it out, dude. I'm going to be here. You got to wait for me to die, son.
That'd be 10 years from now.
That's fine. Wait for me to die. Metal Forge, we're going to keep going with this, baby.
Sorry, that'd be 20 years.
We're going to keep going with this, baby. Keep it going.
Because we're only at 130 something. I think we're at 136 this week.
That's all right.
135 this
we're
week.
Keep
something
going.
Like that.
We're going to keep going. We're going to make Mark answer some questions eventually, guys.
For sure.
Thanks for tuning in. Listen to Breaklights, breaklightsband.com. Check out Overload. There's links down there. And then let's hear a song. What do you say?
All right. So we're going to do a new Breaklights song here. This is I Can't Quit.
We see this weekend, it felt like a holiday. And now thanks to you, I have a favorite grade. Back to reality, overworked and underlaid. And I can't quit thinking about your fucking face. I can't quit thinking about you. I can't quit smoking
Hey, thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of The Metal Forge. I want to take a minute to remind you guys about the Patreon page. Over on the Patreon page, we have the tiers set up to support the production of the show. We feature the Down and Dirty, which is just $1. There's nothing special for that one, it just sends me a thank you, because every dollar helps. Then there's the Double Down and Dirty. Much akin to the Down and Dirty tier, everything helps produce the show in the end. You make your presence known, and I appreciate that more than you realize. Thank you for being a dedicated friend and supporter of the Metal Forge. By selecting that tier, you will receive some cool Metal Forge stickers in your mailbox. Now, we're really going to start pounding the metal madness with the Apprentice Metalhead for just $5 a month. By becoming an Apprentice Metalhead, you'll be given early access to the shows, published 24 hours before everyone else gets it. You're also going to receive 3 entries in any contest that we do here at the Metal Forge. You're also going to receive a 10% discount on all Metal Forge merch, and you're going to receive a sweet Metal Forge patch for your battle jacket or backpack. And now, here is the big one. This is the Master Metalhead for just $10 a month. By becoming a Master Metalhead, you will receive a hand-numbered Metal Forge Master Metalhead membership card. You're going to be given early access to the shows as well, with 36 hours before everyone else. You're going to receive 5 entries in any contest that we do here at the Metal Forge. You'll be able to submit audio questions that I will use on the show of you asking questions to the upcoming guests. Remember, timing is everything, and you will need to keep up with the upcoming guest list on the website. You're also going to receive advanced knowledge of any new merch coming out and be given a 25% discount on all Metal Forge merch. And you're also going to get all of the other rewards from the other tiers. So visit patreon.com/Metal Forge Radio today and help support the Metal Forge. Rock on.